The James Charles situation demonstrates the irreversible reality that no matter who you are, no matter how powerful you are, no matter what celebrity that you are, it is never okay to take advantage of your position and influence. So this video is about a YouTuber with 13 million subscribers. So it's another day, another piece of YouTube drama, another incident to add to the James Charles catalogue of failures. Welcome to James Charles versus reality, round 3.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No.
So once again I ask the YouTube community, please do not forgive James Charles. What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. After Tatty made a video in which he spoke about James Charles and the disgusting way he was talking about the waiter he liked at her birthday dinner, that exact waiter then came out and made a video talking about his experiences of James Charles.
Started off, him and about 32 other people all came into the fancy restaurant that I was working in, and they were all there for Tati's birthday. And throughout the night, James and his friend and everyone, they just kept looking at me, but especially James. He was looking at me and he kept asking the waiters if I was single, or he especially thought that I was very attractive and he wanted to get my phone number and all that.
Now of course there's nothing wrong with being interested in someone, you know, trying to get to know them, trying to speak to someone, and of course in this case James Charles thought this guy was attractive, and he was saying to everyone how he was interested in him, and all of that obviously is perfectly okay, but what follows isn't okay. And this is what has come up against criticism of James Charles in recent days, is the way that he is towards the people that he's interested in and the people that he is supposedly dating.
The next day my sister convinced me to direct message James Charles.
I do love the fact that he was convinced to speak to James Charles by his sister. You know, I don't know how this conversation went, something along the lines of, I'm not really sure what to do about this situation. And his sister's like, well, what I think you should do is, I think you should message him. And he's like, really? She's like, yeah. And he's like, okay.
We proceeded to talk for a while. It was his last night in Seattle. He actually invited me out to his hotel. At that time, I was bi-curious. I had never done anything with a guy before, and I was curious. Later that night, he invited me out to his hotel room. When I got there, in the video, he said I was brought up by 4 security guards, but in reality, I was brought up by 1 concierge.
Now, what I find interesting is it may not appear like this small detail is significant, but in the wider picture, it does demonstrate that James Charles does generally exaggerate the situation at hand. Now, like I said, it doesn't seem that significant, but it's that small exaggeration of the story that slowly adds up to what most people would call lies.
But besides that, I get to the hotel room, we say hi, it's all fine. We end up watching a movie, and after that movie he asked to kiss me. And I was very nervous because I had never done anything with a guy and I was bi-curious, so I said yes. And we ended up making out for around an hour.
And of course at this point it is perfectly okay for Sam to experiment on his sexuality, especially after he made it clear to James that he wasn't sure whether he was bisexual, gay or straight. Sam then proceeds to almost end James's career, not like it's not already over already, by then leaking the DMs in which James was pressurising, telling Sam basically that he knew how Sam felt, despite the fact that Sam said he was straight. After all this happened, Sam was like, okay, but I'll be friends, I'll fly out. But you wouldn't guess what? James said no and got kind of salty, may have wrote a few tweets in anger like he did. Now at the time, everyone thought it was actually about Gage because people thought that James was dating Gage, but it's now come to recent light that James was seeing Gage and also talking to this guy Sam at the same time. There was a major problem with James telling people that they aren't straight or that they're interested in him and kind of manipulating people. James is, well, he was, shall I say, a very influential figure on the internet and just in general. If a famous person comes up to you or messages you on Instagram, there are many people out there who will want to reply to them because it's just the way of life. Generally, if someone is famous, people want to talk to them, people want to speak to them, people want to hang out with them. I feel like James has taken advantage of the fact that that's the case. It seems like James knows what he's doing, because Sam then goes on in the video to also explain that James actually ended up deleting these messages, which essentially proves that James knows that he's in the wrong. So essentially what we've got from this is James Charles knows what he's doing wrong. James Charles knows that what he's doing is just ethically disgusting, but he continues to do it. And I think that his loss of subscribers has actually come well deserved from the fact that he has continued to do these things over many, many months. To lose 2.53 million subscribers, you've got to have done something catastrophically wrong. People don't just unfollow you, especially in the masses, if you have done something small. Generally, people unfollow you because they wholly disagree with what you've done. Do you remember the $500 tickets for his tour? That wasn't so long ago. And now we've got another controversy in which we had the Gage situation. And now we've got another controversy in which we have the Sam situation. There's been so many controversies surrounding James, and I think people just simply have become fed up. And that is why I think that this should be a sign to any YouTuber out there, any creator, any influencer, shall we call it, that you cannot get away with things over and over again, and there are consequences for your actions. He has also been unfollowed by many celebrities, including Miley Cyrus, but most significantly he's been unfollowed by the Sister Squad, Emma Chamberlain and the Dolan twins. So this is a sign of James's downfall, and I really don't think whatsoever it can be recovered. I want to make it clear that sexual assault, sexual misconduct, and any behaviour that involves forcing others to do things against their will or making people feel pressured to do things against their will is wholly and utterly unacceptable and disgusting, including any of the makeup community. And if they defend him, they simply want clout. It is very clear in this case that James Charles is wholly in the wrong. So once again, I ask the YouTube community, please do not forgive James Charles. But anyway guys, this is the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, of course, remember to like and subscribe. Hopefully this is the end of the topic, because I've had enough of James Charles. But yeah, this topic has just really upset me, so I've not really got much else to say. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, eat all of your vegetables.